Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Extra chapter. Warning, extensive sexy scene. Happy days are coming soon, Part 1. A lonely sail is flashing white. Alas, it seeks not happiness. Nor happiness does it escape. The blue wave dance, they dance and tremble. The sun's bright ray caress the seas. When Zhi Xiaoduo first read this poem, he felt it was very suitable for Xiang Cheng. He looked up from the poetry collection and saw Xiang Cheng flipping through a book titled Soulmate. His eyebrows, eyes, nose bridge, and the corners of his mouth couldn't possibly be any hotter. What's wrong? Xiang Cheng asked, do you want to do it? Zhi Xiaoduo said, let's go back to the sacred land and then see. Xiang Cheng looked at his watch and said, it's really early. Let's go to the restroom. No. Zhi Xiaoduo didn't like to do it in the bathroom. If someone heard them, he'd die of embarrassment. Xiang Cheng said, then I'll get a hotel room in Chongqing. The two of you can board now. Xiang Cheng picked up his book and stood up. Destination, Chongqing. Last night, Zhi Xiaoduo had seen the Chai Wen again and couldn't help but daydream, and as a result hadn't slept all night. Today, he boarded the plane and slept against Xiang Cheng all the way, drooling on his clothes while sleeping. When arriving in Chongqing, Fengli personally came to the airport and took Zhi Xiaoduo and Xiang Cheng to Fengdu. The sacred land had designed 3 entrances outside the mountain, a waterway, a mountain gate and a military route for the army of Yaoguai commanded by the corpses fallen in battle Ghost King to enter and exit. Zhi Xiaoduo and Xiang Cheng stood in front of the cliff, and Fengli walked forward, saying, you just need to walk straight towards the cliff, and the seal will naturally open. Zhi Xiaoduo walked towards the cliff, and just as he was about to collide with the wall, the surroundings suddenly retreated, revealing a wide mountain gate. Inside the mountain, there was a unique cave, and the magnificence of the sacred land rose from the ground, creating a lively and bustling scene. Wow! Zhi Xiaoduo was admiring the sacred land from the official entrance for the first time. Xiaoduo! Kita shouted from a distance. The entire sacred land was filled with flying stone runes, and the high-altitude steps had been changed to shuttling stone slabs. The 3-dimensional road and transportation system was enough to accommodate 100,000 Yaoguai moving at the same time. There is free Wi-Fi, Fengli said. Based on your design, a large-scale market has been established. On the 1st and 15th days of each month, rent is waived and there is a space for exchanging goods. Zhi Xiaoduo already couldn't wait to buy. Xiang Cheng asked, how is the Kun Lord's pool doing? We redid the waterproofing. Fengli said, we tried putting water in once and there was no problem, anymore. Xiang Cheng and Zhi Xiaoduo flew towards the Kun Lord's pond on runestone tablets. The water tribe members were swimming back and forth in the underground river. The Kun Lord's pond had been rebuilt and formed into a Tai Chi shape, with the freshwater area on the left and the saltwater area on the right. Previously, the saltwater area had been severely corroded and had seeped underground. Very good, Xiang Cheng said. Can we prepare for the unveiling now? But there's still one small question, Fengli said. It's about the statue. In the center of the temple, a remote-controlled drone flew over, and Zhi Xiaoduo waved at the drone of the Ghost King. The central statue was still covered with cloth, and the Ghost King, Kun Lord, and Eagle King had all come over. The Ghost King stood under the statue with Zhi Xiaoduo on his shoulder and said, you are a genius. Can it be used? Zhi Xiaoduo was a bit nervous. Fengli hesitated for a moment and said, to be precise, it's not quite complete. It's always like that when you try something for the first time, Zhi Xiaoduo said. Based on the materials and spell rune circle you provided, Fengli said, we have successfully replicated the magic array on the blueprint, but I'm afraid it may have some difficulty starting up. Xiang Cheng only had a rough idea and asked, what are the difficulties? Zhi Xiaoduo explained, "It's like this, I hope the sculpture placed in the temple can not only serve as an architectural symbol but also have some magical power, which can affect the possible malice in the sacred land and expel all heart devils. It's a beautiful intention for the design." Kita took a few steps back and looked at the sculpture's shape. When covered by a cloth, it looked like a bow. "So, there are very complex runes at the bottom of the sculpture," Zhi Xiaoduo said to Xiang Cheng, "which can purify the heart devils and evil spirits of all the Yaoguai. I hope that whether we are still here 100 years from now or not, everyone will still feel happy when standing here." "A statue that makes people feel happy," Xiang Cheng understood and laughed, saying, "That's a great idea of yours." Zhi Xiaoduo said, "So, this is a magic statue that can make the Yaoguai who are close to it feel love and hope, which can purify many thoughts full of malice." Fengli said, "Yes, I was also very surprised when I heard about the Empress's design." Mara arose from the darkness, pain, and sadness within humans and Yaoguai. The purification runes designed by Zhi Xiaoduo could purify the malice in the sacred land through the power of the statue. The world was so big, and there would be resentment in every corner that couldn't be completely purified by Zhi Xiaoduo, nor by Xiang Cheng. But in the home of all Yaoguai, the central city of this inner world, he could ensure that as long as there was the sculpture, devils would never be born. After learning about the history of the sacred land, Zhi Xiaoduo had often wondered that after a long time later, when they were already no longer in this world, what would happen to the sacred land if the power of devils were to make a comeback? At that point, this sculpture would carry the love and hope of all people today, guarding the sacred land. "It is connected to the heavenly veins above and the earth veins below," said Zhi Xiaoduo. "It has a strong purification power. In this way, I think even if a new Mara is born in the future and wants to return and take back the sacred land, our strength will still be preserved in the statue, and we can fight against it." Xiang Cheng asked, "Where is the problem?" "The problem lies in the activation." Fengli said, "There is no problem with the magic array, it's just that it needs a magic guide to gather and connect the heavenly and earth veins, merge the hopes of all the Yao tribes together, and transform them into a core." "Huh?" Zhi Xiaoduo said, "Can't all of you do that?" "We've tried it," Fengli said, "using all the methods." "What materials are needed for this core?" Xiang Cheng asked. "A neodon." No, Zhi Xiaoduo said. "We need a kind of marked energy. Just like when an old-fashioned car engine starts to rotate, it needs to be shaken so that using the principle of inertia, it can start to spin." Fengli. "We've tried that too," the Kun King said. "Perhaps there isn't anything particularly beautiful in my memories." "It needs beautiful memories," Xiang Cheng said. "Yes," Fengli said, "ours have too many distractions, although with Gagantorura, N." Everyone looked at Zhi Xiaoduo, and his face turned red. "We need some," Zhi Xiaoduo said to Xiang Cheng, "beautiful and sweet emotions, which will be the driving force, form a ball of energy, and then put it into the sculpture, so that the magic array can operate." "It needs to be the very pure kind," the Ghost King said. "I'm old now, and I can't do it anymore." Zhi Xiaoduo felt very embarrassed in front of so many people. Fengli took out an anklet and handed it to Zhi Xiaoduo. After glancing at Kita laughed and also bent down to take off his own anklet, throwing it to Xiang Cheng. Xiang Cheng raised his hand to catch it. "We'll have to trouble you guys," Kita said. "What do we need to do?" Xiang Cheng asked. Everyone looked at Zhi Xiaoduo, whose face and ears were all red as he said, "Then, leave it to us, Ba." "Wait a minute," Xiang Cheng said confusedly, holding the magic chain in his hand and not understanding what was happening. "What exactly are we doing?" "We're going la." Zhi Xiaoduo pulled Xiang Cheng's hand. ******. At night in the sacred land, the gentle moonlight shone from the inner dome of the mountain. Zhi Xiaoduo sat by the bed, while Xiang Cheng knelt on one knee to the ground, putting on his anklet. Is it love? Xiang Cheng asked. Yes, Zhi Xiaoduo replied with a slight curl of his mouth, we need to use beautiful emotions to purify into a ball of energy. Why is it an anklet? Xiang Cheng said, then took off his pants and lay in bed. Zhi Xiaoduo knelt down and lowered his head, fastening the moonlight stone anklet to Xiang Cheng's ankle. Because this was designed according to animal behavior, Zhi Xiaoduo said. When animals are courting, they will all, smell the behinds of their own kind, so beautiful decorations are usually tied to their hind limbs. Xiang Cheng laughed, crooked his knees, hooked his ankle around Zhi Xiaoduo's waist, and asked, how do you use it? As long as the moonlight stone feels abundant love, said Zhi Xiaoduo, it will light up and preserve the energy. When the purification reaches a certain intensity, it can then be extracted. Xiang Cheng had Zhi Xiaoduo lie next to him. On a peaceful summer night, veils were hung around the holy sleeping hall, quiet and silent. Above was a deep blue night sky, and starlight fell on the light veil. Zhi Xiaoduo rubbed the back of Xiang Cheng's feet with one foot. After taking a shower, they dry themselves up and it felt really nice. He untied Xiang Cheng's bathrobe, reached into it and fondled his chest muscles. Xiang Cheng hugged Zhi Xiaoduo's waist with one hand and brushed his other hand freely across his body. There is a soundproof barrier around us, Xiang Cheng said. They can't see us from the outside either, so you can yell as loud as you want. Do I usually shout very loudly? Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Xiang Cheng laughed and flipped over, pressing Zhi Xiaoduo beneath him. After applying enough lube, he breached Zhi Xiaoduo's bottom. Zhi Xiaoduo held his breath. He felt that although Xiang Cheng had entered him many times now, every time, he still felt as excited as if it was their first night together. Xiang Cheng's cock was very hard and thick and beautiful. When he entered Zhi Xiaoduo, all Zhi Xiaoduo could feel was the satisfaction of a sudden fullness, and he couldn't stop moaning. Does it hurt? Xiang Cheng lowered his head to kiss Zhi Xiaoduo. A little. Zhi Xiaoduo always felt that Xiang Cheng was too big. When he first entered, there was always a little pain. When they faced each other, Xiang Cheng grabbed Zhi Xiaoduo's ankle, lowered his head to kiss his foot, and looked at the moonlight stone. It hasn't lit up yet. Zhi Xiaoduo reached out a hand and stroked down from Xiang Cheng's strong waist to his thigh. Xiang Cheng poked one foot against Zhi Xiaoduo, but there was no movement from the anklet. What about now? Xiang Cheng slowly pulled out, and just when Zhi Xiaoduo was starting to get used to it, he slammed back into his very base, his balls slapping against him, causing Zhi Xiaoduo to cry out loudly. Still nothing. Don't mind that anymore. Xiang Cheng hugged Zhi Xiaoduo, buried his head by his ear, and whispered, let's do it first and then talk about it. What followed was an attack like a crazy storm. Zhi Xiaoduo couldn't stop crying out, holding onto Xiang Cheng's waist. Xiang Cheng fucked him for a while, and then had him straighten up, hugging him from behind while caressing Zhi Xiaoduo's entire body and thrusting. Zhi Xiaoduo felt that his hole had grown all soft and wet from Xiang Cheng's thrusts, and he let out soft moans while his face was completely red. Feels so good, Zhi Xiaoduo groaned. Xiang Cheng's big foot stepped on Zhi Xiaoduo's thigh, rubbing back and forth. The moonlight stone anklet rubbed past him, jingling slightly, but not glowing at all. This still doesn't count as love. Xiang Cheng's fingers tangled in Zhi Xiaoduo's hair, letting him rest on his arm. Then he leaned into his ear from behind and whispered, do you not love me? I love you. Zhi Xiaoduo already couldn't use his words to express his inseparable feelings for Xiang Cheng. He worked hard to scoot backwards, making Xiang Cheng penetrate him deeper, and freeing a hand for him to reach backwards. He pressed down against the strong globes of Xiang Cheng's butt, drawing him even closer. Deep enough? Xiang Cheng asked. Ah, so deep. Zhi Xiaoduo groaned. Xiang Chen drew himself completely out before thrusting back into Zhi Xiaoduo's hole, going all the way in, as deep as he could. But I like it so much, Zhi Xiaoduo's breath was quivering. Xiang Chen twisted his head around to kiss him greedily, thrusting in hard 100 times until Zhi Xiaoduo's back, neck, and chest were starting to turn red. His climax was like waves crashing over one another over him. In the end, Xiang Chen thrust in a few times and held Zhi Xiaoduo still. Zhi Xiaoduo's hole couldn't stop contracting, and he just felt that his big hard cock was as hard as usual, and then he shot into his body. As they separated, Xiang Chen took Zhi Xiaoduo's hand, held it in front of his lips, and kissed it. "How come there's no response?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Xiang Chen lifted up his foot, and the moonlight stone had no response at all. "Could there be a problem in the design?" Xiang Chen asked. "There shouldn't be a," Zhi Xiaoduo said. "Let's go," Xiang Chen said, "let's go outside." Wait. What? Zhi Xiaoduo was picked up by Xiang Chen, instinctively crossing his feet behind Xiang Chen's waist, and Xiang Chen walked out of the temple. "What?" Xiang Chen replied. "No." Zhi Xiaoduo blushed and nearly collapsed. "Where did you learn all this from?" Shh, Xiang Chen motioned for him to keep his voice down. There was a breeze in the summer night, the sky was filled with stars, and the square in front of the temple was completely empty. Moonlight shone across the entire area. "We're completely naked," Zhi Xiaoduo whispered. "What are you afraid of?" Xiang Chen replied. "Who would dare to watch?" The two of them stood naked in the square. Zhi Xiaoduo shrank back at first, hiding behind Xiang Chen, but Xiang Chen took his hand and had him stand straight, with them facing each other. Zhi Xiaoduo. The moon shone on their bodies, as if covering their skin with a silver layer of light. Zhi Xiaoduo's breathing grew uneven. Xiang Chen lowered his head to look at Zhi Xiaoduo's bare body, and Zhi Xiaoduo suddenly felt as if he was being seen through. However, this frank and open feeling felt even more beautiful, unrestrained, and unbridled than their normal love for each other. "Look at me," Xiang Chen said, taking Zhi Xiaoduo's hand and pressing it to his chest, moving it in circles to tell him how to touch him. Zhi Xiaoduo swallowed, feeling Xiang Chen's muscles. Xiang Chen also lowered his head and stood in front of the statue in the square, touching Zhi Xiaoduo's completely bare body. The moonlight stone reflected the clear light of the night, twinkling away. That was a wild sexual impulse that was completely integrated with the heavens, earth, and nature. They were just like the most primitive beasts, mating wherever they pleased. Zhi Xiaoduo relaxed a bit and said, "You exhibitionist." "I used to like swimming in the Yangtze River," Xiang Chen said. "I wouldn't wear anything. And I would feel as if I was one with the skies, the world, with nothing between us at all." Zhi Xiaoduo's breathing started to tremble. He fondled Xiang Chen's beautiful abs, then touched between his legs and held his huge, soft thing in his hand. Their cocks rose again under each other's gaze. Xiang Chen motioned to Zhi Xiaoduo and stood behind him, hugging him from behind. "I love you," Xiang Chen said in a low voice. "I love you too." Zhi Xiaoduo turned his head and gave Xiang Chen a lingering kiss. He felt Xiang Chen's huge cock entering in again, and he didn't dare to make a sound, just breathing. Xiang Chen was also very careful, pushing him in front of the statue. Zhi Xiaoduo straightened his back to let Xiang Chen enter him as deeply as possible. "Still nothing," Zhi Xiaoduo said. "Don't mind that," Xiang Chen said. They then started a second time, very gently, but cooperating together very well. Every time Xiang Chen hit a sensitive spot inside Zhi Xiaoduo's body, he felt like coming. Their fingers intertwined, but Xiang Chen never left Zhi Xiaoduo's lips. After a whole hour, Zhi Xiaoduo was fucked into coming. Xiang Chen kissed his chest and licked the cum off. Zhi Xiaoduo's face was completely red, and he rubbed at Xiang Cheng's lips before being carried back into the temple. Xiang Cheng gave Zhi Ziaduo a simple bath again, wrapped him in a towel, and said, "Go lie down on the bed." It was already 2 o'clock in the evening, and Zhi Ziaduo lazily lay in bed, looking at the moonlight stone anklets. "Husband," Zhi Ziaduo called out softly. Xiang Cheng was taking a shower under the pillar, with hot water washing over his body. After washing off his sweat and wiping himself off, he came over to just air dry and spread his hands, letting Zhi Ziaduo rest in front of his chest. Zhi Ziaduo rubbed Xiang Cheng's anklet and said, "Strange, it's really useless." "If it's useless, then let's forget about it, ba," Xiang Cheng replied. Of course, Zhi Ziaduo was not willing to accept that. How could they collect love energy? It didn't seem like it was a problem just between Kita and Fengli. "Let's try a different way and see how that goes," Zhi Ziaduo had a sudden idea. "Try what?" Xiang Cheng said, "Are you going to fuck your husband?" "Can I?" Zhi Ziaduo said, "I'll top you once. Maybe it'll work. Love is mutual, ma, maybe our steps are not complete yet." Zhi Ziaduo thought to himself, "The time has finally come to test whether you love me so much." Xiang Cheng nodded. Zhi Ziaduo, "Really?" Xiang Cheng said, "Of course. If you like it, husband can do anything." "Why would that matter?" Zhi Ziaduo said, "Then I'll top you." Xiang Cheng spread out his limbs and said, "Come." Zhi Ziaduo gave Xiang Cheng a heated glance. Xiang Cheng blushed a bit from this look, and he started laughing. His smile was so handsome, and seeing this, Zhi Ziaduo was going to go crazy again. How are you this hot?" Zhi Ziaduo thought to himself. Xiang Cheng simply spread out his limbs and lay down spread eagle. Zhi Ziaduo tied his hands together with a towel, and Xiang Cheng joked, "How can you be so reckless with this great king?" "In case you go back on your word halfway," Zhi Ziaduo said solemnly. Xiang Cheng replied, "I won't go back on my word." "Ah." After Zhi Ziaduo tied up Xiang Cheng, he hugged his waist, leaned in front of his chest, lowered his head and licked his nipples. He sucked one of his now hard nipples into his mouth, playing with it non-stop with his tongue. Xiang Cheng reacted immediately, the huge thing down below rising again. "Do you like that here?" Zhi Ziaduo kissed along his chest to his neck, kneading his nipples and not letting go. Xiang Cheng's hands were tied up, so he opened his legs, turned his head, and kissed Zhi Ziaduo. He looked into his eyes and said, "Husband loves you to death." They couldn't be any more familiar with each other's bodies, and Zhi Ziaduo knew where Xiang Cheng was most sensitive. If he kissed his neck a little, his face would flush. Zhi Ziaduo sniffed him across his neck, drawing in his scent, and then kissed his sexy armpit. Xiang Cheng sort of couldn't take it anymore, his breathing grew heavy, and his waist started to tilt up. Zhi Ziaduo licked down from his cleaned armpits, fondled his waist, and kissed his crotch. Xiang Cheng gasped and looked down at Zhi Ziaduo's movements. Zhi Ziaduo's fingers had grasped his thick cock, and when he shook it, liquid was already seeping from the glands. He gave Xiang Cheng a blowjob, specifically starting at his most sensitive area. Xiang Cheng's wrists were tied, so he couldn't move, but he felt so good that he just moaned, straightened his waist slightly, and pushed his whole cock into Zhi Ziaduo's mouth. Zhi Ziaduo deep-throated him again, then withdrew from Xiang Cheng's cock with satisfaction, spreading his saliva evenly across. He sat astride Xiang Cheng's waist, grasped Xiang Cheng's cock, held it towards his own opening, knelt on one knee, and slowly sat down. Xiang Cheng's face was flushed, and he said, "Didn't you want to?" "I'm topping you." "Ah," Zhi Ziaduo laughed. He was a little nervous but drew in a deep breath, and started to sink down on it. "Ah!" Xiang Cheng cried out. Zhi Ziaduo closed his eyes and focused on the entire process of Xiang Cheng entering him. When he had completely sat down, He half crouched and spread his legs. Then in an extremely exposed position, he straightened his waist. When Xiang Cheng had completely entered his body and he could feel that he could no longer go any deeper, that it even hurt a little, only then did he stop. His own cock was as hard as Xiang Cheng's, and when his prostate was hit, a stream of liquid seeped out. Xiang Cheng saw as his entire enormous cock was taken by Zhi Ziaduo, and he couldn't help salivating. Next, Zhi Ziaduo started to slowly move, while Xiang Cheng could only lie there while Zhi Ziaduo pressed his chest, pushing deeper down each time. "I love you to death," Zhi Ziaduo gasped. Xiang Cheng raised his chin slightly, and Zhi Ziaduo hugged his head, bending over to kiss him. Their tongues intertwined, and since Xiang Cheng was completely bound right now, he could only crazily kiss Zhi Ziaduo, press his ankles into the bed, and thrust fiercely upwards. Zhi Ziaduo felt that Xiang Cheng had taken the initiative to go at him, and he was going crazy from his thrusts. Xiang Cheng gasped, "Come." "No." Zhi Ziaduo hadn't even finished talking before he started to scream from Xiang Cheng's thrusting. He simply straightened up, and every time Xiang Cheng left him, he would also pull away, and every time Xiang Cheng entered, he would sit all the way down. After riding him for a full 10 minutes, Zhi Ziaduo was covered in sweat, and he undid Xiang Cheng's tied-up hands. Xiang Cheng sat up, put his arms around Zhi Ziaduo's waist, and started thrusting wildly again. He then picked him up, and sat down at the chair of a large table. He had Zhi Ziaduo sit on him, held the globes of his butt, and had him follow his up and down movements. "Husband, I'm going to come now," Zhi Ziaduo gasped. "Come together," Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Ziaduo straightened his waist, had Xiang Cheng pull out, then sat down again, using the strength of his waist to force Xiang Cheng's massive unit to the point of bursting. Xiang Cheng cried out loudly, hugging Zhi Ziaduo's waist. Zhi Ziaduo lowered his head, and the two of them kissed deeply. With that last thrust, his cum sprayed over Xiang Cheng's abs, chest, and even onto his shoulders. Zhi Ziaduo was about to fall apart and was carried back to bed. Their limbs entwined as they still kissed with a hint of nostalgia. It still didn't work. Zhi Ziaduo took off their anklets and flipped them around in his hand, saying, "What's going on?" "Forget it," Xiang Cheng said. "It's too troublesome." "No." Zhi Ziaduo said, his obsessiveness coming into play, "We must study this and figure it out." Okay, Xiang Cheng coaxed, "let's talk about it tomorrow." 1, 2, 3, sleep. Xiang Cheng snapped his fingers, and the surroundings darkened, leaving only a sky full of starlight. ******. The next morning, Zhi Ziaduo felt a bit unsteady when walking, mainly because yesterday's cowgirl position was too tiring for his waist, causing both back pain and soreness. Xiang Cheng, on the other hand, was quite energetic. Fenli glanced at Zhi Ziaduo. Zhi Ziaduo supported his waist and said, "It's so sore." "Are you okay?" "I'll massage your waist." Fenli said, "Did it work?" "No," Zhi Ziaduo said. "It's already like this, and it still doesn't work." Fenli didn't know whether to cry or laugh. "These requirements are too high, so why don't we just forget it, ba?" "We can't just forget about it," Zhi Ziaduo insisted. "I must make this statue work." The crowd was speechless, and Zhi Ziaduo said, "Actually, I still have a life-saving straw, wait." Zhi Ziaduo activated his phone, and everyone stared at him. 3 seconds later, Zhi Ziaduo edited the message, opened the contact Xiao Lang, and sent 3 words, "Help save the show," followed by a bunch of exclamation marks. Everyone fell over. "Lend me the pandas to play with." Chen Lang quickly replied, and Zhi Ziaduo could almost see his expression in Beijing. "I'll lend you too." Zhi Ziaduo continued, "If you help me analyze the situation clearly, I will send them on the plane now."
Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In Beijing, Chen Lang was overjoyed and directly took out a USB flash drive to access the top-secret database. He turned on the camera and gestured to the file. Zhi Xiaoduo gestured as he explained the process of the Moonlight Stone, but Chen Lang also found it a bit strange. In theory, it shouldn't be like this. Chen Lang replied, Moonlight Stones can absorb all the beautiful energy in the world. Are you sure you're wearing them? Zhi Xiaoduo, then there's only one explanation, Xiang Cheng doesn't love me, or I don't love Xiang Cheng. Chen Lang went through the database, searched for Moonlight Stone files, and replied, maybe. Zhi Xiaoduo, like hell maybe. Do you want the pandas or not? Chen Lang gestured for him to remain calm. Leaning against the back of the swivel chair, with a pen in hand, he gently swiped and pulled a screen over, flipping it over to face the camera. Moonlight Stone absorbs the beautiful energy of the world, purifies the mind, and is very sensitive to love. It can detect the emotions of the wearer during the passionate period of their love. Chen Lang, it shouldn't be like that yet. Zhi Xiaoduo, has anyone used it before? Chen Lang, yes, those two moonstones of yours took me a lot of effort to find. They were gifted by a great master of the Qing dynasty to the young master of a noble family. The young master had been wearing them ever since he was young, and he experienced a magnificent relationship. Zhi Xiaoduo, the Chao family. Chen Lang, it seems so from the description. Zhi Xiaoduo, and in the end. Chen Lang suddenly reacted and gestured, I understand now. Zhi Xiaoduo. Chen Lang, the function of a moonlight stone is not something that can be absorbed directly into the body. It is a gradual process, which means that you need to wear it from childhood, let it recognize its owner first, and then take it with you to fall in love. From liking someone, to truly fulfilling your long-cherished wish, and achieving the happiness of love, only then can the moonlight stone absorb enough energy. Zhi Xiaoduo, The people around didn't know sign language, so they just saw Zhi Xiaoduo and Chen Lang gesturing for a while. Zhi Xiaoduo signed, understood. Chen Lang, you and Xiang Cheng are already together, so you can't recharge the moonlight stone anymore. We have to find someone else. Zhi Xiaoduo, but I need Xiang Cheng's dragon power to protect the sacred land. What should we do? Chen Lang shrugged, puzzled. Zhi Xiaoduo waved bye-bye, and Chen Lang asked anxiously, what about my pandas? Zhi Xiaoduo replied, okay, I'll give you one, and turned off the video call. How is it? Xiang Cheng asked. Zhi Xiaoduo said, there's no way, I understand now. Xiang Cheng comforted him, you tried your best. That afternoon, Zhi Xiaoduo sat next to the statue, looking up at the statue of the guardian god covered in cloth. He thought to himself, wouldn't it be so good if I can really gather all the energy and make a core in the sculpture? Kita came over and asked about it. Zhi Xiaoduo also didn't hide it from him, and after explaining, he finally said, if you want to gather energy, you need to give two people a moonlight stone before they fall in love with each other. This way, after experiencing a complete cycle of love, and then banging, the moonlight stone can complete the cycle of energy gathering. Kita said, if we had known earlier, it should have been given to me earlier. Zhi Xiaoduo said, I just want to store the love between Xiang Cheng and I in here so that it could protect the sacred land. Sigh. Kita said, would it work if we gave it to someone else? For example, give it to Lang Dog and let him fall in love. Zhi Xiaoduo said, they don't have dragon power. The most suitable one is Xiang Cheng. What about your good friend, the Chai Wen? Kita then asked. Don't mention him, alright. Zhi Xiaoduo said, don't bring trouble for me. It can't be that I have to smell Lihun pollen again. But I really don't want to do that again. Plus, with Xiang Cheng's strong dragon power, the Lihun pollen can't even affect him. Sigh. Kita patted Zhi Xiaoduo's shoulder, and the two sat outside the square with their backs against the statue. Zhi Xiaoduo leaned against Kita's shoulder and asked, "How is your relationship going, La?" Kita chuckled and revealed his tiger tooth, saying, "It's great. Finally, I've found the person I love the most in this life." Zhi Xiaoduo said, "What counts as great?" Kita was a bit cagey and said, "You know, sleeping with the person you've been dreaming of is really the greatest joy in life. What worries or reservations, you can throw that all to the back of your mind," Kita said. "This world just belongs to the two of us, and there is only him and me." Then Fengli, Zhi Xiaoduo thought for a moment and said, "Can he take it?" At first, he thought it was too big, Kita said. But after he got used to it, he really likes it. He's just a person who, when he's really satisfied inside, can't say it out loud. Zhi Xiaoduo had 3 black lines on his head, and Kita said, "We occasionally turn into animals, but unfortunately you and great immortal Xiang can't transform." "No, it's you who can't transform." Zhi Xiaoduo thought of the scene of a huge wolf holding a fox and mating in the Garden of the Beast Zone. His face turned red instantly, and he suddenly remembered that last night, he and Xiang Cheng were playing in the square, and it also carried a hint of that feelings. "Oh, I see." Zhi Xiaoduo laughed, "Yes, it's really great. It's very unbridled." Kita squinted and said, "The feel of a furry little fox against my fur can't be any more satisfying. But I still like it when we're human, there's more variety." All right. Zhi Xiaoduo had 3 black lines on his head and said, "No need to say more." Xiang Cheng finished reading the process and came out of the sacred land. Kita looked back and then stood up and left. Xiang Cheng stood under the statue, looking up at the arched sculpture covered in cloth. "Have you come up with a solution?" Xiang Cheng asked. "No," said Zhi Xiaoduo in distress. Xiang Cheng replied, "Chen Zhen called me." "Oh, have the pandas been sent over?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Xiang Cheng replied, "They both transformed into humans and have been sent to Beijing." The two of them stood quietly, while Xiang Cheng looked at Zhi Xiaoduo and suddenly smiled inexplicably. "Zhi Xiaoduo. I need to go out and do something," Xiang Cheng said. "Go ahead, Bei," Zhi Xiaoduo said. "Do you want me to accompany you?" Xiang Cheng waved his hand and glanced at Zhi Xiaoduo again, asking, "Where are the moonlight stone anklets?" Zhi Xiaoduo took out the anklets from his pocket and fastened them to Xiang Cheng. Xiang Cheng was wearing low-cut leather shoes, revealing his clean ankles, and turned around to leave. "Qi Wei will come over later," Xiang Cheng said. "He needs your help with something." "Oh." Zhi Xiaoduo said, "Did he quarrel with Uncle Qiao?" Xiang Cheng laughed again and looked at Zhi Xiaoduo. Zhi Xiaoduo lifted his head, squatted, and sat in front of the pedestal of the sculpture. The sun was shining brightly, and Xiang Cheng carefully examined him. With one hand on his knee, he knelt down on one knee and leaned in front of Zhi Xiaoduo. Like a dragonfly brushing across water, he gave him a kiss. "I will love you forever," Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Xiaoduo's heart was about to melt, and Xiang Cheng turned around and said, "Let's go." Xiang Cheng leapt out of the temple, transformed into an azure dragon, ascended vertically to the horizon, and flew out of Mount Wu. End chapter.